Okay, so here's the one I wanted to talk about, the junction box. In particular, I just drew the junction box at the tall pier. So you'll kind of duplicate this at the other locations. But in any case, we have to mount this enclosure somewhere, and we could use the approach that I just talked about with the unistrut horizontally to mount the box there, and it would face the deck side, the inside side, not the water side. And when you have the conduit coming along with the black cable, which is the 3 sensors down at the intake tower, as an example, you'd come up here, and that's the black cable coming in. You'd have a piece of liquidite coming from, excuse me, whoops, from down below, maybe a 25-foot piece of liquidite that hangs down like an elephant's trunk, that you would feed the red tilt meter wires up into, which would come up into this enclosure where you have the 3 surge modules mounted. And then from the top of there we would go out, and now we could go out through the brown wire, which can hold 6 sensors, and yeah, you come in the bottom, and then you can get that wire to come, strip it way back, have a lot of extra in there, and wire up to the tops and the output side of the lab 3s. John's measuring for me right now the height required, but he thought 6 inches sounded about right. He's going to go measure how much space there is in a lab 3 enclosure. Anyway, we would have a ground come out here. We've got our ground coming along, sloping down, and then it's going to just tail off, and it could be cut off down in here somewhere. And we have the one going down with the plate in the water, and you just get a split bolt to hold all that together. We would also have the ground coming, sloping down from the other locations, and all that together in one big split bolt should do it. Let's see if there was any other details that I thought about. The only thing I thought about was that the conduit from McMaster Car, you can buy conduit that's pre-painted. I don't know what that looks like. I suppose I should order one and see if it's very scratch resistant or just what, but likely it's probably pretty good stuff. I may call them up and see if there's a way I can get a sample of that. But it's not expensive. That was the key point, so I thought that was pretty interesting. The other thing is that on the conduit, you can put them together, and then there's connectors they have to connect them that are screw. You just tighten them down with screws, one on each side. But they also have a kind that's a little bit better, they said, that's got a nut, and you tighten the nut, and it kind of puts a little squeeze at the end of the conduit on both sides. So we can figure that out in just a bit here. Probably have to do that this week, but I just wanted to mention that anyway. Okay, I think that's it for this one for right this second. GoPro, stop recording.